Now, what I ask is that when you submit an assignment, uh, when you save the file document, you name the file document with your name and the assignment title. So let me show you. Let's just pretend I'm going to start a homework assignment for this class. When you save it, whatever you're going to call it, it's your name. My name is David Looney, so I'm going to call it my name, David Looney. Do a little dash and say chapter 1 docx. So I need to know your name and the assignment. You see how that works? If you're writing a narrative analysis paper, you can do something like NA is fine, NA on Matthew. It's, everybody's going to submit something different, but I need your name and I need something that tells me what it is. Don't just say, Matthew or homework or something like that, because I'm going to have a lot of homework assignments, and I don't want to have to open each one to know whose is what. Great. Moving on. Oh, at this point, I should point out, you might have an old syllabus with incorrect information. My email is davidllooney@gmail.com. If you have had a previous course with me, or if you have an outdated syllabus, it might read davidlooney@me.com. I used to have an iPhone, and I got a mobile Me account, and they were charging me like $100 a year or something to have that. Anyway, no email's worth $100. So don't send me anything to my Me account. It does not exist anymore. You got to send it to davidllooney@gmail. Okay, let's talk about assignments. I try not to assign really tough homework. I don't really get anything out of making your guys' lives miserable, so I try not to. All I'm asking here is for 2 assignments, and hopefully you don't think they're too bad. At the end of the course, or throughout the course, let me know what you think of the homework assignment. If it's a lot of work, or if you feel it's busy work, whatever. I really appreciate that feedback. But you've got your main text, and at the end of the chapters, there's at the end of each chapter there's a section where there is study questions and key terms. It looks something like this. I don't know if you can see that on the screen, but there it is. There's key terms and then study questions. I want you to go through the key terms and define them. Let me know you understand them in full sentences. And then study questions. Study questions should be answered in essay format, full answers, and let me know you understand the answer as well. You don't have to write the questions in your assignment. I just want the answers. What's important is that you write your answers fully, as if you're telling somebody that didn't even ask a question. So make sure I get the idea that you really understand the information. You can do that for chapters 1 through 10, with the exception of chapter 2. I'm trying to save you a chapter there. See, that's the kind of guy I am. If there's a chapter you don't need to read, you don't need to read it. Okay? I'm on your side. Here's the ugly part. You've got 4 papers due. This might look bad, 1,400 to 1,600 pages. It's actually not too bad. In fact, even on the syllabus here, let's see, what is this? This is 300 words here. So 1,400. This is probably less than half a page of writing. So maybe about 500 words in a page. So I'm asking, 3 to 4 pages here. But anyway, but I do count by words. So stick to that. It's got to be in Turabian format. If you don't know Turabian format, I have a ton of videos on my website as to how to do it. I've got, I've written like guides on how to do it. I've got videos on how to do it. Everything. I've got templates. Everything you need on my website. So no excuses. These 4 papers are going to count 40% of your grade. The content is basically, for each of the Gospels, you're going to talk about the plot, the characters, the readers, the authors, and or purpose of the gospel. So you can either choose to kind of give me a general idea of all the narrative elements, or let's say you're really interested in the character development in John. And you read John and you think, oh, that's interesting. John's, the main characters, or let's just say the antagonists in John are doing this and that, and they're interesting in this sense, and you write your whole paper on character development in John. That's great. Or the conflict. Let's say you decide to focus on the conflict, which is part of the plot, and you really just analyze the plot throughout the Gospel of John. That's fine. Or you can just give me a general idea of the whole thing. But that's the kind of stuff I'm going to be looking for. Course schedule. I think it's pretty easy. This is week 1. You've got 2 chapters due. This is the only week you have 2 chapters due. Chapters 1 and 3 are due next week. That means you got to answer study questions and the key terms. And this is the only week you have to do 2 chapters. So I know we're kind of starting off with a bang, but it's the only time you're going to have to do that. And again, I'm sorry putting such a major burden on you. The only assignment due by next week is meet the instructor, and by that I mean you got to Skype with me, or using Messenger somehow. I want to see your face via computer. Essentially, I just want to get to know you a little bit, know where you're at. I want you to feel comfortable asking me questions and not hesitating to ask me questions. And I really want you to get comfortable using that venue, some kind of video chat venue. So that's an assignment. It's required. You just have to do it. I know it's not worth any points, but maybe you don't get course credit if you don't do it or something. It's that important. The only other thing I want to point out is once we actually start studying the Gospels, you'll have 2 weeks we'll spend 2 weeks with each of the Gospels. The first week, you'll just read the text. You'll read 4 Portraits, 1 Jesus. You'll answer study questions, and that's that. Then you'll have a whole entire other week to do your narrative analysis paper. So you do your reading in the text. You get an idea of all of that. He talks about narrative analysis in there, so you'll already have a really good idea of character, plot, themes, and all that. So the next week is really just take your time reading the gospel and writing your paper. It's work. I don't want to make it seem like I'm not appreciating that it is work, but I'm giving you 2 entire weeks per gospel. So I don't think I'm being a taskmaster here. One other deadline I really want you to notice is your final paper is due the week after the last night of class, or the last day of class. What this means to you is that it puts me in a position where I have to submit grades not very long after this due date. Usually they're due a week after the last day of class. So you have to get this into me on this deadline, or I don't get grades in, and I'm going to get grades in. So if you don't submit this on time, you're probably not going to get credit for it. So all I ask is that you be as good as possible with the deadlines. Great. Of course, don't cheat, don't plagiarize. Very important that you stick to good quality writing. You have to write in Turabian. That is just the standard for actually for all biblical seminaries and biblical programs. So you just have to get used to it. Great. Don't hesitate to call me if you have any questions. Email me, Skype, whatever. I'm here to help you out.